Hi everyone. Just waiting for a person to join and then we'll get started.
Is it working? Is it working?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Kwesia.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. 1 second. Anyone can send. Wait, when the live ends. Okay.
You
Okay, yeah.
okay?
Yeah. Sorry, it was sending, it was showing me a message and I kind of underestimated myself um going downstairs quickly.
No, it's fine, honestly. Honestly. I just want to start by saying thank you for being here and sharing this space with us this evening
No
on
problem.
this very warm evening.
Sorry,
um,
just like a little disclaimer in terms of I have obviously newborn here.
of course you do.
So might
Listen,
hear might hear
babies
him.
invited, babies involved. Listen, this is real life here.
I even was thinking of putting a cup of tea on. Actually, funny enough, using one of your blends.
Oh, amazing. What, the postpartum one?
Yep, I've been using. No, I've been using mainly Mama's Milk Aid.
Ah, how have you been finding it?
Really good, actually.
Oh, good.
Really good.
To
Yeah.
anybody watching, this wasn't pre-planned.
Yeah. No, no, simply. Because I know I haven't like given you any feedback about
Oh,
the
don't worry
blends
about that.
and
Don't worry about that.
yeah, no, it's really been good. Really been good.
Oh, thank you. That really means the world to me because like I'm in this to genuinely help. So when I get feedback like that, it's everything. So thank you. Thank
No
you.
problem. No
I might
problem.
get you to write a little testimonial for me
No
at some
problem.
point. At some point, you've got your hands pretty full at the moment. But I just wanted to. I don't like introducing people because it's your story that you're here to tell and share with us.
Yeah.
So I have been wanting to get you on here for a while, but just because I love your work, I love everything about what you do. I've been watching your journey for a while because I came across one of your radio interviews. I think it was on BBC over a year ago because it aligned with the work I do outside of the work I do in my day-to-day job. And so I've just been following your journey since, but I would love for you just to give a little intro into who you are and what it is that you do.
Yeah. So my name is Kwesia, also known as City Girl in Nature.
I've
I
been saying your
guess.
name wrong all this time, Kwesia.
Yeah. It's all right. People call me Kwesia as well. So,
Okay, I like to
but
get names right. Sorry, go on, go ahead.
but yeah. I first, I guess, the core kind of what you even would have seen on that interview with BBC Women's Hour is the background of how like my upbringing and some of the life experiences I faced.
Mm-hmm,
So just a bit of a trigger warning. Some of the life experiences I faced were quite extreme at a young age.
mm-hmm,
So I experienced being a young carer, but also losing my auntie to my uncle murdering my auntie to an honor killing,
mm-hmm,
and then 2 years after that losing my friend to knife crime, and then that really triggered my mental well-being and being homeless after that in
mm-hmm,
2016. So yeah, yeah, grew up in Deptford in southeast London,
mm-hmm.
near an estate called Peeps Estate. And yeah, my background was football actually,
Oh,
funny enough.
okay.
I played football from 5, and growing up I guess female football wasn't what it is
Mhm.
today. So I was a football coach and a youth mentor, but through doing that type of stuff is how I came across the opportunity to go to the Peruvian Amazon
Mhm.
and with the British Exploring Society.
Mhm.
So that was where my life essentially changed.
Mhm.
I went on an expedition to the Amazon rainforest and camped there for 3 weeks with no contact with the outside world and with
Mhm.
a bunch of strangers. And
Do you mind me asking
um,
how old you were at the
so I
time?
was 19 and I turned 20 in the actual jungle. So
Oh, amazing.
I had a jungle birthday. And they actually steamed me an orange cake, a chocolate orange
Ah.
cake, yeah, which was really nice actually. But yeah, no. So and since then, on my return back from the Amazon, that was in 2018.
Mhm.
I felt a change within myself, but
Okay.
I didn't quite understand or know what that change was.
Mhm.
And it took me about 2 years, I guess, to fully comprehend the experience. And I was invited to a conference called the Adventure Mind Conference,
Mhm.
via British Exploring Society to share my story about my experience on expedition.
Mhm.
Um, which I do feature in The Lady Who Runs It, Belinda Kirk,
Okay.
her book called Adventure Revolution. So it's just about how adventure can kind of affect, people and
Mhm.
their life and kind of impact them.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I went to that conference and I was like, wow, I never knew that there was like people that I didn't even know what conservation meant.
Yeah.
I didn't know that people studied zoology at uni. Like
Mhm.
this was a whole
It's
like
a whole new world.
whole new world to me,
Yeah.
and I was like, so that was in 2020 when I early 2020 when I came across like this kind of, I guess, new
Mhm.
world in terms
Mhm.
of understanding that around like even um gardening, like
Mhm.
in community gardens and stuff like that. And when I did return, one thing that that shifted, I became quite passionate about yoga. Um,
Okay.
because I kind of I'd done it before, but I realized that for me, what was healing power of. I started realizing the healing power of like holistic practices,
Okay.
early stages.
Mhm.
But then 2020 is when I created City Girl in Nature. At the end of the year, based off that conference and seeing that this
Okay.
space, when I looked around, it was at that conference, it was all white people and
Mhm.
predominantly male. And
Yeah.
I didn't feel comfortable at all. I was the youngest as well in the
Mhm.
room, of
Mhm.
course. And like, yeah, I just didn't really feel comfortable. And I thought, I've had this really amazing experience. I can feel the difference. I
Yeah.
feel healed, in fact. I feel like my life has changed. And I'm now tuning into a different frequency. Although I'm in the city,
Mhm.
I'm still able to connect with the natural world around me.
Mhm.
And I guess that's what inspired me to create City Girl in Nature. And I started by making content. That's where I really started.
Okay.
And there was nothing out there at that time. Now there's like so much nature content,
There is.
which is nice to see now. But in 2020, no one was making content. Especially, I created a 25 episode series on YouTube,
Mhm.
and that was me like speaking to different people in the community, but also record breaker explorers,
Mhm.
so like a variety of different people, and then showing what I was doing to connect with
Yeah.
nature at that time as well, which was I self-taught myself a lot of the knowledge I know now,
Mhm.
whether it's to do with like foraging or whether that's to do with mindfulness practices or wildflower IDing,
Mhm.
and it
What's
all just
wildflower? Oh, obviously it's identifying wildflowers.
yeah, yeah. So like just like using field guides,
Yeah.
like not like loads of people now obviously are now like, oh, apps and stuff like that, but I was like kind of showing people in the series, I guess, like all these different ways I was connecting with our natural world
Mm,
in the city as well, or not far from the city. That's my core thing, has always been like what's on our doorsteps.
exactly.
um
And this is the
so
thing. This is the thing. It's making it all accessible, isn't it? And I find it really interesting that you talk about the kind of people you were coming across in this space, and that there was nobody that looked like you, or there was nobody that was of the younger age group, which happens across a lot of sectors,
mhm.
you know. And being growing up in the city and not understanding how to utilize those green spaces, not even knowing where they are available or how to use them, you know, to benefit our own well-being, is something that you've been really proactive at. And that's why I wanted to talk with you, because it's important, you know, to bring the next generation through and get them to understand that this is a way that they can take care of their mental health and their well-being, you know. And it is on their doorstep, and there's no boundaries infringing that. There's no finance that comes into that. We just have to kind of go to it and have a greater understanding of how to use it. But I just wanted to talk about you also being a doula, which I thought, when I learned that little bit of information, I thought that's amazing. What an amazing thing to add to your offering. And I was just wondering how that came about, and how does your nature work influence your role as a doula as well?
So I guess with taking on the kind of taking on the role of a doula, or learning about what a doula was. A
Mm,
lot of the stuff that I do with my work generally is based off life experiences, because
mhm.
I do believe that, life is the best teacher.
Yeah.
Life experiences are the best teacher. So I was actually inspired by falling pregnant myself,
Mhm.
and I like to try to be informed about things that I are doing or embarking on, journeys, etc.
Mhm.
So I was doing research about pregnancy and stuff like that when I
Mhm.
first found out, and I saw like, what's a
Yeah.
doula? And I didn't know what that was
Mhm.
either. And that's when I kind of saw that it's basically a midwife that's not medical.
Yeah.
Is like
Not medically
basically the,
trained. Yeah.
yeah, so it's basically like so I was like, wow, this really aligns with like what I would like to do.
Mhm.
um I did find I found someone. My sister told me about someone, but funny story is that did get in contact with her, had a meeting, everything, and then when she said the price, I was like, really? And I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't pursue her.
Yeah.
And then that's when I said, "Oh no, I need to try and become a doula myself,
Mhm.
and try to change that narrative of like, especially people that are not aware of what a doula is,
Mhm.
and actually need someone to actually advocate for them, because a doula, in within a role of being a doula, you do advocate, if wanted,
Mhm.
for the people that you're looking after, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. So I really thought there's a real need for this, especially within our community,
Yeah.
and young people and single moms and people that don't have much support,
Mhm.
etc. So, and I had all the birth experiences basically I had heard were literally negative. So I wanted to just
Yeah.
change that as well.
Mhm.
Like I wanted more people to kind of have a good experience.
Mhm.
And I actually had a really good experience myself
Okay.
with my first son. So that really inspired it
Mm.
further, wanting to embark on the journey of becoming a doula.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that's what kind of inspired me, and then how that then connected with my nature work was just that another kind of um, world was open to me again,
Yeah.
and again, and that was like what inspired me to then say, oh wow, this really aligns as well.
Hmm.
And connecting the dots, I guess, and just sharing the knowledge
Yeah.
and wanting better experiences, not just for myself, because I feel with the work that I do, it's a lot about using myself as an example.
Hmm.
Because I don't feel that we can actually help anyone but ourselves.
That's right.
Um, and how you help others is actually by leading by example.
Hmm.
And that's like what I've seen effectively does help a lot of people. And
No, you're
even with
right.
even with content, like as I said, when I first started there was like nothing, and now like when I'm on my timeline, that's all I see, and
Yeah.
it like makes me so happy
Yeah.
to see that,
It's true
these
because
butterfly effects happen.
yeah, that's right. Because representation is everything. Because especially when it's something new, when it's something that you've never even considered before. Like when you said you heard of a doula, and you were like, "What's a doula?" There's still so many people that don't know what a doula is, don't know that they could be supported by somebody in this capacity. Do you know what I mean? And then when you spoke about the price as well, that that really hit me because for me on this series I'm all about providing visibility to holistic and alternative therapies, but the cost of it is often a barrier to people actually being able to access it. So even if they might be interested, it might just be like, oh, okay, I've looked into it and I can't actually afford it. So it's finding the ways to 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 make access to like these healing and nurturing modalities more accessible, to make it more realistic, to make it fit for everyone, whether
Mhm.
you are able to go out and have the funds to do that or to find an alternative if you're not. But it's just having the wide range of options open to everyone. And that's something I really want to and try and bring into all of our realities a little bit more, that it's not just for one type of person. It is for everybody, and there is something for everyone, and we all should be educated on these things.
Definitely. I think one thing also to add to that is that I guess sometimes with a lot of these things we're not aware of it, but
Mm,
and it's also just based on our environment, like what you're saying
yeah,
too, and our life experiences. But it's something that I guess also with being someone that is doing this type of work, I do feel like slightly like that there's a responsibility
yeah,
to go to where people are at,
mhm,
rather than like feeling that like loads of people needs to know about this, but how do we reach them? I guess
yeah,
that's kind of like the
yeah,
the outlook that I look
yeah,
at. And
yeah,
I guess what I've learned as well on the journey so far is that it's just about being real and relatable and
mm-hmm,
like authentic, because there's one thing about life experiences that no one can ever say that, oh, that's not true, because um it's what's happened and it's like from your truth
yeah,
as well. So that's one thing that I would say in terms of like on the journey so far, and just reflecting on like my who I was before, and even now
mm-hmm,
working with like young people or people that are not aware of things, or having conversations with people that don't know much about these types of things.
yeah,
I think it's always important to like meet them where they're at,
yeah,
and then like it kind of, another thing especially with young people I'd say is like you kind of plant that seed, and even if
mm-hmm,
it's not now that they're interested in it, it might be like 5 years time and they're like, oh yeah, remember that girl that said
yeah.
blah blah blah, or and
That's the
that's like
thing. You're right. You're right. It's just about rooting it in there, and when it comes into alignment in their life through their personal experiences, that will come back out. That seed will open up and it will sprout something. Do you know what I mean? You're right. It is about laying those foundations there for them. I think sometimes we get caught up in wanting things to happen on our timeline. Like we've had this experience, and I need you, and like I want you to go away and immerse yourself in this and transform your life. But it doesn't work like that. It's everybody's on their own journeys. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the time, we might have these experiences that benefit our well-being, but then we're going back into toxic or harmful environments day to day. Do you know what I mean? So it's about creating that long term and having it as something that they can continuously go back to when they need, as and when they need to. So yeah, I completely agree about planting those seeds. But I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about your work with young people, because I know you said you wanted to reach those that have experienced hardship and poverty and haven't really had much outside of that. So when you've done work with young people, how have you been able to kind of foster community between them? And what are some of the changes you've seen as a result of the work you've done with young people, like in terms of their mindsets and so forth?
I guess I kind of touched on it already about that real and relatability. I
Mm,
think um with me, I like to try to just with most people anyway, not just young people, I just like to present who I am, and like in a kind of unapologetic way.
yeah.
um and I guess that speaks particularly to young
Mm,
people, because
mm,
I guess, as you all know, as we've all been younger, we you kind of, when you're in that mind frame, you're very open.
mhm.
So even though you might seem that you're reserved or stuck in a certain way
Yeah,
or clique or whatever,
yeah.
you're very open minded and willing to change a bit better,
Mhm,
easier, etc. So I guess, with that being said, when I work with young people, I always invite that kind of, that energy
mhm,
of the open mindedness, and just
mhm.
kind of like, don't force it, like
Yeah.
just like be myself, and also um I guess share like bits and pieces around, whether it's um to do with mindfulness, or because
Mhm,
different things connect with different people and different young people. But
mhm.
I like to try to not go like too deep into, I don't know, a particular topic, or use too much
Okay.
jargon even,
Yeah.
or like there's things that I guess I'm mindful about, that um it all depends on the group of young people
Mhm,
too. But in particular, the people I'm trying to reach is very much, I'd say, the basis of it is just being like authentic with them, because they themselves has have experienced similar things to myself. And
mhm.
even when I do share my story and stuff, I always like to say as well, I'm like one of many people. I'm not like very
Mm,
unique in that way.
yeah.
And that's why I share that story, only based on the fact that there's some people that are just living their lives,
Mhm.
and I guess like getting on with things as we all do,
Yeah.
but not really, I guess, trying to use themselves as examples, as I like to put it.
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, it's about, essentially for me, showing young people that this is a tool that you should have in
Mhm,
your toolkit. That's how
mhm,
I like to explain it. So
mhm.
like, on life's journey, we have a toolkit that we should always be trying to build along the journey
Yeah.
through the experiences, and that toolkit is something that we should always be trying to access in different ways. And what you put in there,
Mhm,
whether that's nature connection, or your diet, or maybe some people
mhm,
with fitness, like it's
mhm.
these are all tools within our toolbox.
Yeah.
And it's just about equipping these young people, and people as well, like, I guess maybe we'll touch on it more as we get into the conversation
Mhm.
further, but like that journey of different points in your life and different versions of who you are,
Yeah.
and still having that toolkit on this journey. I think that's
Mhm.
like the key thing for me. And yeah, I hope that
Definitely.
answers your question.
No, it does. It does. It does. And you're right. It is about seeing it as a toolkit and having those things that you can constantly revisit and understand that you can go back to that whenever you, as and when you need it. Um, what else? What else did I want to say? I wanted to say, talk about a little bit about self care, kind of feeding into what we've already discussed, because I feel like, just going back to your previous point, when you were talking about toolkits and so forth, I feel like a lot of the time, obviously I can't speak for everybody, only myself, but I feel like where I fall down is I will take one particular aspect of my well-being and focus on that, rather than looking at everything, like you said, diet, environment, all of the things that come into it. So I focus on one thing, thinking I can heal and change everything from focusing on this one thing, and it's not the case, because we have to change. We have to look at everything in greater detail to be able to change everything. That's why it's holistic. It's mind, body, it's everything. Do you know what I mean? And I feel a lot of the time in self-care, this is where we kind of fall down a little bit, because we don't create techniques that we can kind of implement into day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a snapshot here or there, but it's like you said, it's building that toolkit slowly but surely, and kind of sitting with yourself and being self-aware and understanding what works for you and what doesn't, and then possibly going out and trying something else and changing it. But I feel like a lot of the time when the things are short term, we're not receiving those long term benefits which we need throughout our lives. So I was just wondering if you have any ideas of how we can kind of remove the boundaries that go hand in hand with like the work you do as like a nature practitioner, like whether it's finances, whether it's environment and so forth. How can we make accessibility to nature um, more realistic and person centered? Um, and I just want to hear about some of the things you would actually recommend for people to do, even within like their local green spaces and so forth, like stuff that you would do with people within your work.
So, what I'll definitely say, as I said, the ethos of City Girl Nature a lot about on your doorstep. So
Mm,
I'd say like just because it starts from home first, right?
yeah.
So, I guess literally one thing that I would say that is really easy and to do is look on the map on your phone
Mm-hmm.
and zoom out, and you'll see green and blue spaces around wherever you might be. It might look small, it might like just be like a
Yeah.
little bit, but that's one of the easiest ways, I guess, for some people, especially in the information age, going on your
Mm-hmm.
phone and just doing that, and you'll be able to probably discover like quite a lot of. I think discovery is definitely one of the biggest entry points, if you want to say, in terms of accessibility,
Mm-hmm.
because going outside, and I'll also touch on being inside too, but going outside generally it's free, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to pay to walk down the
Mm-hmm.
road and visit, wherever it doesn't actually have to be green or a
Mm-hmm.
wetland as well, by the way. Like it can actually just be a walk,
Mm-hmm.
and just tuning into a different frequency. I'd say a lot of it is about mentality,
Yeah.
when connecting with our natural world. I guess we're operating in a city which is hustle and bustle,
Mm-hmm.
which often, in our subconscious mind, has us very busy and never really like breathing or taking a breath or just being still and present, which
This is the
which
thing.
is which is I'd say one of the core like kind of things that I guess not and everyone is um thinking
Yeah.
of when they think of like getting outside or nature healing
Yeah.
or stuff like that,
A
or
lot of the
like
time it's like they're trying to get somewhere,
yeah,
right? It's not just being outside.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I was on a team meeting the other day, and it was like an all day meeting, and we had a creative activity where we literally just had to look up at the sky. We were all inside, but we just looked up at the sky. And it might sound really small and really insignificant, but that kind of shifted the whole energy of the meeting, of the environment, because it was like a beautiful blue sky, and we were just kind of tracing the things that we could see and talking about it and sharing it. And you're right, it's like I go outside and I put like you said, it doesn't have to be a green space, but I put my feet on the grass, and I just focus on my breath. And I feel like we're so kind of trained now to not be self-aware. We're so dialed into things. I went to a spa the other day with my mum as a belated Mother's Day present, and I was sitting around the pool just chilling, and everyone was on their devices. everybody was
At
in
the
their
pool.
phone around the pool, everyone was. And I was looking around and I was just thinking, this is crazy. You are in a spa with a sauna, steam room, there's a swimming pool right in front of you, and they were all on their phones, just face
Wow.
down in their phones. And I was just like, something needs to change, because we are so used to being dialed in, like having our energy tapped into something, that to sit with ourselves and be present within our own bodies is something that's become alien to us. And I think that is a major cause of a lot of the illnesses that we are experiencing, and a lot of the mental health issues that are going around as well, because there's never that freedom, there's never that space to just be, and have that inner connection. And then on top of that, we're trying to give our energy to other people, whether it's community, whether it's friends and family, and there's nothing left for yourself. Sorry, I might
Mm.
be talking from my personal experience, but
That's fine.
yeah, I'm very
No.
aware of that. Like everywhere I go, I just see everybody's so dialed in to whether it's a phone or they're playing games and stuff. And even with my own kids, like when I'm on my phone too much, they tell me often, like, "Mum, you're always on your phone." And I see my daughter sometimes mimicking me on her fake little phone, like a Disney princess phone, and I'm just like, something needs to change. And that's why the work that you do is so important, just to make room for that reconnection that we
Yeah.
all need.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah, no, I think it's very much like individual as well, like as well as collective, because
Mm.
there's a lot of groups and stuff as well now that are around. When I first started, one of the groups that really was inspiring me was Flock Together.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't many groups around or like people around in the space,
Mm-hmm.
from my knowledge anyway, and Flock Together really, they're bird watching basically group,
Okay.
collective, two guys that set it up,
Mm-hmm.
Ollie and Nadeem. So they really kind of inspired me as well, like the space that they were creating with
Mm-hmm.
like young people, but also just anyone was invited,
Mm-hmm.
and we was bird watching, which it's like growing up, that's not something that I would have ever thought I would do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think what I was gonna touch on as well in terms of inside is that you can have plants. That's another way of like connecting with our herbs. Like growing your own herbs on your windowsill, and um you don't need to live like in a fancy house or
Yeah.
anything. You can literally live in a flat.
Yeah.
Living in my flat, we used to always look outside my living room window,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a tree that on the right side that literally I noticed one year that birds were nesting in it. And I was so fascinated because I'd never seen that before. I know
Yeah.
they talk about birds nesting, for winter, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
etc. But I literally watched like a bird putting a nest together, and it was
Mm-hmm.
so interesting because I saw like plastic and I saw sticks. I saw like the put like how this bird was like putting this nest together,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
really wholesome. In fact, and then I then noticed that every year the
Mm-hmm.
birds were nesting there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's just like one small moment that I can like reflect on.
Yeah.
But there's loads of things that different people connect with, and I guess it's about finding your own kind of way, or what you feel you connect with, how you feel you connect,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's in a group hiking,
Yeah.
hiking with other people, or bird watching, or it's individually. Maybe you want to go solo camping, or you want to, like focus like with holistic stuff as well. There's so much other things that I've also, especially with my new project, come to learn about,
Mm-hmm.
through herbalisms and like herbalist, and tea blends, and
Mm-hmm.
diet and sound
Mm-hmm.
healing.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of other things also that
Mm-hmm.
might connect with people that are maybe not even something they might have considered
Yeah.
themselves or known
Mm-hmm.
about. There's a lot of people in the community that are into music, and in particular like sound healing too. I've been thinking about how much people would probably really connect with it as well
Yeah.
if they were aware of it,
Hmm.
so yeah, like just thinking of all these types of things
Yeah.
is
But
what continues to inspire also the work that I try to do.
yeah, yeah, I hear that because visibility is everything, right?
Yeah.
We need to be seeing these things to even consider them as an option, to even open up our minds to thinking, oh, I might have a slight bit of interest. And like you said, it's just planting those seeds, always planting those seeds, and just waiting for them to come to fruition. But as we're coming to a close, I would just like you to tell us a little bit more about your current project that you have out,
Yeah.
just to wrap up.
Yeah, so I have a project called the Outdoors and Nature
Mm-hmm,
the Outdoors and Holistic Nature Project,
mm-hmm,
which is essentially about all things holistic.
mm-hmm,
The first part of the project was a 7 weekly video styled series which
mm-hmm,
featured different guests. I had um, a lady who spoke about indoor plants, for instance.
mm-hmm,
A young man talk about his garden and
mm-hmm,
how he started it in lockdown, um, and community gardens and becoming a new mum and
mm-hmm.
farms. Like just thinking of all these different ways and forest school.
Yeah, I
So
really
I'm literally
enjoyed that episode on Forest School. It was really good. Yeah,
yeah, no, so like and then hiking as well,
yeah.
like hiking. Um I think I've named all the episodes actually. So there was like, yeah, 7 episodes.
And where can we find them?
And that's on YouTube. That's where originally started, as I said,
Yeah.
and still putting content on there. But for me, the next part of the project, which you are also included in, um, and I'm looking forward to sharing our episode
Oh,
also,
thank you.
is a podcast, which is going to be so exciting. That this is going to be a 10 episode kind of series, which will be released weekly. Um, in the first week of September. The trailer is out today as well.
Okay.
So you can kind of see a bit of a taster of some of the guests and get a feel for the
Mm-hmm.
what's to come. And
Amazing.
yeah, just really excited about the knowledge that each guest has brought to the table and the passion and the stories
Mm-hmm.
behind how they came
Yeah.
about to where they are now, because stories is what connects us all. And literally, when I spoke to every single guest on my podcast, I felt even more inspired to continue what I'm doing and
Mm-hmm.
learn more about their fields and what they're doing,
Yeah.
because it's like it all connects, it's all connected. And yeah, it was just, yeah, the next part of the project is definitely something to look out for, and it will be on audio platforms too, as
Oh,
well as
okay.
YouTube. So you can listen to it literally just as audio, or you can watch it as a video on YouTube. So that's the next part of the project.
Okay.
And when that's over, I'm sure there'll be much more to come
I'm
also.
sure there
So
will be more that comes off of the back of it because, like you said, it's just that's what it's about. It's about that community, and it's just about inspiring you to try new things, go in different directions, or not even understanding how you're going to be inspired from something, but just taking that leap. And you've done that, and the project's really amazing. I'm not saying that just because I'm on it, but you really should check it out. Everybody who's here today, thank you for being here. And can you access your YouTube channel via the link in your bio?
yeah, so the if you click on the link in my bio, it's a link tree at
Mm-hmm.
link, so it'll be YouTube. It'd say YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and you can access it there.
Mm-hmm.
And my other social platforms or some of the
Mm-hmm.
other work that I've done previously too should be there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's I guess that's me.
Well,
uh,
thank you so much for being here with us this evening, Kwesia. I know you got your hands full and you still managed to come on, which I'm so grateful for. I've been pestering her, bless her. I've just been like, if it's not manageable, then don't worry. But she's here, and I don't take that lightly. So
Thank you.
thank you so much, and thank you for
Thank you for having
everybody.
me.
Oh, of course, it's been my pleasure, and thank you for everybody that's joined us. Thank you, James. We are grateful. James is wishing us all the best with both of our ventures. Thank you very much,
Thank you very much.
and yeah, and everybody have a lovely evening, and look out for future episodes. This one will be live on my page on Friday. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Take
Bye,
care now.
Kwesia.
Bye
Bye.
bye.